This is integrated 3. It's problem 5-59. It says sketch the graph of y plus 3 equals 2 to the x. And then letter A, I'm just going to do letter A. It says what are the domain and range of this function? So I know that in the beginning of the school year we learned about our parent functions. And we all got out some graph paper, and I think most of us, we folded it into, we folded it into 8 pieces, and then we put all our parent functions. We actually only ended up with 7 parent functions. One of the parent functions is the exponential function, and so it kind of goes up like this. And so I know that this is my exponential function, and then we've learned about transformations of functions that tell me this is just my exponential function, but it has a vertical transformation. It's going down by 3. So I'm just going to go down by 3, and I'll just make a dotted line to remind me that I've moved my graph down by 3. And then I'm just going to graph the y equals 2 to the x. If you need help and you need to get Desmos to graph this, that's fine. I'm sketching a graph. I'm not making a complete graph. They didn't ask me to make a complete graph. They asked me to just sketch a graph. So I know it goes kind of like that. And then I'm going to answer the question. The question is, what are the domain and range of the function? So by now you should know that domain is the x values, all right, x values, and range is the y values. And when you have a graph, it's very easy to see what the domain and range are because domain is the x values. So look at the x-axis and ask yourself how far, does the graph go forever and ever to the left and the right? Well, the little arrows tell me it does. Even though it's going up, it's also kind of going off to the right. So I'm going to say the domain is just all real numbers. I could say the domain is x is in between negative and positive infinity. Okay, x is just the numbers between negative and positive infinity. It's basically all the numbers. I can plug any number in for x, left or right, negative or positive. So that, I would just write it like this for now. You'll learn interval notation later. The range is all the y values. So now I'm looking at this y-axis. So I'm looking up and down, and I'm asking myself, how high and how low does my graph go? Does my graph go forever and ever up? I mean, the little arrow says it does. But does it go forever? Is there a certain lowest point on my graph? There is, because of this dotted line. This is an asymptote. So the lowest point, the lowest y value I will ever have on my graph is this asymptote, which is -3. So, and it's never going to touch that asymptote. So I'm just going to say y is greater than -3. So the y values of this graph, I'm never going to have any y values that are -3 or less. They're all going to be greater than -3. So that's what they mean by domain and range.